Hello and welcome to the Mortal Kombat Minute, the podcast where we analyze, criticize, and memorialize the 1995 film Mortal Kombat one delicious minute at a time. I'm Phil Casper from philcasper.net.
I'm Spanish from GameFixShow.com.
And we have another special treat. We have a special guest with us today, Josiah from the Declassified Cheatcodes podcast. Hey there, Josiah.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being on. We are ecstatic, and we are going to jump right into it. We are on minute number 31. This minute starts with Johnny Cage telling Sonya Blade to find out what the four-armed shadow is.
Yep.
And it ends with Kano stuffing his face with food and talking smack about Shang Tsung.
Yes, that's. I think you hit the nail on the head. I can't even say that thing right, but well, yeah. From the last minute, just to recap real quick, we right at the end we saw this shadowy figure with four arms growling, and we were wondering what the heck's going on. So this is where we are. We get the end of that growl now, and of course we get a smart aleck Johnny Cage as per usual. And his line is Sonya, go ahead and find out what that was. Lou and I will wait right here. And of course, Sonya answering, what? and only the way Johnny Cage can ask it.
I like
what's funny is Lou. Sorry, I think it's funny is Lou is like forgetting that he's supposed to be looking around, and then about halfway through it, he's like, I'm supposed to be looking, right? So it's funny.
You're paying attention to Lou. I was paying attention to Johnny because at when he's delivering the line, it's almost like he's like having just a heart to heart with Sonya. He's like, Sonya, like very stone faced, like Sonya, you go and find out what that was. We'll stay here.
Like back into Scooby-Doo.
Well, it's so funny because just like a minute before that, she was like, I can take care of myself, and he's like, it's a guy thing. So it was like it's totally like a flip from what he just said a second ago.
Well, he's been known for that.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, just one final thing that I noted when I watched this minute obsessively was while Johnny was delivering his line, you could still hear the Goro's thudding footsteps. Sorry, I let it slip. But anyway, the shadows thudding footsteps as he's walking away. You can hear that in the background. I was like, oh, that's actually a good touch that I never noticed before.
Yeah. Of course, then it kind of switches scenes, and we get this kind of a long shot of a dinner table of sort. With a gentleman sitting at the head of the table, and well, obviously that's Kano. We finally see Kano. He's back in our eyesight. We're wondering where he was, and I have to tell you, I'm wrong. I was wrong.
Wait, you're admitting you were wrong?
I was wrong.
Wait, I'm sorry. What were you wrong about, Spanish?
I forgot about this scene, and now watching again, I realize. I was wrong, Phil. Are you happy now?
Maybe he's real just right now, though. Maybe this is his first actual scene.
Oh, see, you don't even know what I'm talking about. I like it. So I thought earlier in the boat that Kano was actually Shang Tsung in disguise. Turns out he really was on the boat. We just didn't know where because that was such a big boat. He was hiding with the rest of the other people that were on the boat. That's okay. That's where.
Well, I'm glad that you finally came to your senses, Spanish, in realizing.
And we're gonna
catch up. Where is this located? Is this on the boat or is this on the island?
No, this is on the island where we're at right now.
A ridiculously large room.
Yeah, we're done with the
boat. Okay,
we're way past the boat now.
That's good.
It has that long shot, and you could see all the. You see the stairs with the. I love the light of the sun, or I don't even know if it's sun, whatever it is, but just kind of shining down on the steps there,
like the little god rays or whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird the light that's falling on Kano's face, though. It's like there's another hole randomly in front of him that has a different light source. See how washed out it is.
Yeah.
It's clearly a spotlight.
I mean,
it's not the most well-funded movie. What do you expect?
I don't know, but you kind of ran past this. I was hoping maybe y'all would have the answer. When it first pans, I counted 174 candles.
I'm so glad you did, because I stayed away from that. I did not.
I just noted that there were dozens.
I noted there were lots. So thank you, Josiah. I'm glad. Now I'm really glad you're on the show.
I hope that they're professional movie candles, because I hope there wasn't some guy's job to light all those absurd amount of candles.
That's a good point.
I was just laughing about how many ridiculous candles are in those shots, and there's ones that are not in the shots, because when it pans back to them hiding, like onlooking, there's like 14 right under them, which know that there must have been some outside the shot.
Yeah,
I mean, those candles probably feel a little left out. Like, man, I didn't even make the cut. I don't know. I'm just being silly, obviously.
That's good.
Well, we have Kano. Obviously, he's sitting at the head of the table there, and he's drinking out of this giant chalice. I would imagine wine. I'm just going to throw it out there. I would say wine, right?
I agree.
Sure. I would say, or mead.
Probably more wine.
I would say wine too. Yeah.
I mean, it was set in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so. We don't really know exactly the year, but yeah, let's assume it was 95. Sure.
Okay.
Well, obviously, we have Kano, and he says, and he's talking to somebody. We don't really know exactly who he's talking to. Well, we have an idea, but he's talking to someone, and he says this line. He's like, "See me? I believe in a fair fight." I can't. I got to do his Australian accent. And I'm not. So okay. One-on-one, man-to-man, hand-to-hand, just like my daddy taught me. How's that? But what I saw out there was not very fair. So what he's talking about is when Sub-Zero threw his ice ball at the red dude. Which tells me now that Kano was there, but we didn't know where.
Right. Maybe he was like,
maybe it's actually supporting your theory after all.
Maybe. but I figured
bipolar.
But I figured he was perhaps like just behind some of the lattice work or whatever, like the shadowy figure was, just looking on. So I would have like looked way more obsessively during those scenes earlier, during those minutes, to see if I could like spot Kano. That would have been like an awesome little Easter egg to see.
He wasn't there. Nah, he wasn't.
Yeah, I'm going with split personality.
Yeah, I don't think he was there.
Two people.
Obviously, when he says that, we go. It kind of pans to the three heroes, and they're watching this whole meal conversation, if you will, go down
with more candles, as Josiah pointed out.
Of course. Don't forget the candles.
Don't forget the candles.
And of course, Sonya, the first thing she says, because she's obsessed with finding Kano, is, "That's Kano." And then Johnny Cage, kind of being like the voice of reason at this point, and says, forget about Kano. Who's the other guy? Which is correct, because the other guy looks way more scarier than Kano.
So this, we heard different things, I think. So you think Johnny Cage said, "Who's the other guy?" I listened to it. I thought he said that at first, but I think he says, "Where's the other guy?" Like, who is he? Who is Kano talking to? Because
where's too.
I went with who's, but okay, all right. I could be wrong.
Because I'm like,
I've been wrong before, apparently, so that's fine.
Because I'm like, Johnny's actually pretty observant here, because he only sees Kano. So who is Kano talking to? Is he just talking to himself?
Maybe he's talking about the guard in the background.
Potentially.
The guard. I don't know. There's really nothing special about the guard standing there with the.
Yeah, they never come back up.
No.
They just disappear throughout the whole
thing. He doesn't matter.
And so Kano then continues on with his line. Now it's my turn to try.
Please,
gosh, I'm gonna butcher it so bad. Where was I?
I didn't try. Okay.
Yeah. So then he freezes this guy, right? And then he explodes. I could see his guts and everything. Almost lost my lunch. It's horrible.
Okay, and what I heard Kano say, and I could be wrong because I was trying to figure out exactly what you said, because it was either disgusted or disgusting, and I went with disgusting.
And I think it's disgusting.
Okay.
Yeah, disgusting. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. And then we're all on the same page.
And
which I'm not sure if he's referring to the fact that the story he's describing is disgusting, being that he saw someone get like torn apart, or if he's just being disgusting talking with his mouth full for 2 whole minutes.
I actually agree with you on that. I actually think that he's talking about, I'm glad you brought that up too, because I was going to say that. I actually think that he was talking about Kano because he is just, oh my God, you could tell, like, the way he's eating that turkey leg. Oh, it's gross.
Although I am going to be honest though, during this minute, this is the scene that actually, like, whenever I first saw it, got me like into finding turkey legs and eating turkey legs. So I'm like, man, that looks so delicious. And now it, like, ever since I saw this scene, every time I go to like a carnival or a fair or something, I'm like, okay, I got to get my requisite turkey leg somewhere, smoked turkey leg.
I can't do the turkey leg. It's too stringy. See, there I go, talking about other things.
No, it's fine. Let's talk about turkey legs.
Dude, turkey legs are delicious. Let me tell you what.
Let's talk. Speaking of the food that's on the table, let's talk about the food that's on this table.
I didn't look at that.
Okay, well, this is what we do here. Just
well, I counted the candles.
You're fine. Hey, that's more than we did. That's fair.
You lifted us up there. Now it's our turn to lift you up, Josiah.
Yeah. So obviously, sitting there right in front of him is a turkey. He's eating one of the legs off the turkey, even though there are still 2 legs connected to that turkey. Just ignore that, though.
I think there's a plate of turkey legs next to it, though.
Okay, that could be. Yeah, why is there just random turkey legs? Sure. I don't know what that thing is in the middle, right beyond the chalice, but it looks just like a giant piece of meat or like beef or something.
Yeah, I think it's either a big, gigantic like ham hock or maybe just a big piece of roast beef. There are rosemary sprigs on top. I saw that.
Oh, that's true. I did. Yeah, that's good. Good call. Good pull.
Rosemary beef, really good.
And let's not ignore the fact that the big giant wheel of cheese. I don't know what kind of cheese. I would love to speculate, but I don't know. Maybe blue cheese. Maybe brie. A giant brie.
It seems more crumbly, though. It could be like a goat cheese or something, some sort of outworld cheese.
Asiago, perhaps?
Perhaps. Or it might just be a white, crumbly cake. Who knows?
No, I don't think so. Well, because there's grapes on it, that leads me to believe that it's cheese.
Fair enough.
That's where I'm at. But, yeah, I mean, this table looks disgusting. I mean, there is just food, and it just looks like... It makes me hungry, but it still doesn't. It just look gross. It
all came off the floor from the previous scenes.
Oh, that's a good.
When they came in and turned the tables, but they just put it all in cans and brought it.
I mean, it's Kano. Obviously, doesn't really care. You know, that's kind of what I'm getting out of it. But okay, anyway. I just wanted to stop there because that table is just ridiculous. Okay.
But he does have quite the spread, though, as opposed to the feast a couple of minutes before, which was supposed to be a feast. It looks like this is more feast worthy in my eyes.
The whole blocking of this room is insane. Like what it is, the big walkway, this ridiculously big table full of food, and the absurd amount of candles, and his mini throne, and then soon to be something else. It's just an absurd room.
Well,
it is the throne room, I would imagine. Right?
It's technically Goro's throne room.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be all grand and whatnot.
It shows his actual throne, and I think the coolest thing about that throne is obviously it was custom made for Goro. He has 2 armrests on each side. I love it. I love that. That is so cool. And then like what was it? Looks like lion heads on the front.
Yeah, two lion heads on the top armrest at least. I couldn't really spot them on the lower ones.
No, nothing on the lower. It's just wood. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I did want to draw attention to when we see the shot of Goro, is his belt buckle. Did y'all notice that?
Like a yin yang.
Yeah. But it also reminded me of something else while I was doing some research. It partially looks like another symbol of another Kamidogu.
Oh, okay.
From the realm of Edenia, which is actually a yin yang, but but I mean it only resembles it a little bit. So I wonder if that's either another nod or what. I couldn't find anything else relating to Goro's belt buckle.
I would say it probably isn't at this point, only because I know the history of Mortal Kombat, and that wouldn't make sense for him to have an Edenia belt buckle. That's just me, though. I don't know.
But there are some things in this movie that don't make sense anyway in the grand scheme of things.
Well, during that shot, that's when Goro then says "disgusting." We got that.
Right.
I love how his right his two right hands or whatever do like, it looks like, I don't even know what it almost looks like he's mad, right? Like he's just annoyed with him. I would be
just sitting there waiting for time to pass. Like,
yeah,
trying like how much more do I have to withstand this imbecile in front of me?
Well, then Kano then says the final line of this minute says, what I want to know is, if this Shang Tsung guy is so great, how come he has such a crumbly looking boat? Anyway, guys give me, and then that's what we got.
And he cuts off midline.
Midline cutoffs.
We do get a little bit of a better shot of the spread though. Like I see like now some I think they're like bird or turkey wings, a bowl of them in the lower left hand corner with some orange slices.
Yeah, I don't know about orange slices, but I'm going with the turkey wings. I'll agree with you on that.
And then a bowl of fruit, it looks like on the far left side with
looks like a dragon fruit right there.
I thought it was. I looked it up. It's a Kawano melon.
Kawano melon.
Yes, the yellow spiky thing, also known as a horned melon.
Ah.
A little bit of trivia there for you.
Look that up, but okay.
This is what we do.
I googled googled spiky yellow fruit, and then there it is. I also really do want to note, around the 50-second mark here, you see the face of a shadow priest behind Kano.
You do. Yes.
I was like, oh, this is amazing. I never noticed that before. I'm like, oh my gosh.
He's just kind of standing there, which is funny because we did see the other guard or whatever he was kind of standing off with the long shot. But now that we see this, was that guy even there before?
Actually,
I thought that too.
Looking at previous screenshots that I made, like, yeah, he wasn't there in earlier in the minute. Like, so I guess he like just brought some food over or something.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Real quick minute. Oh yeah, go ahead, Josiah.
He actually wasn't there when it flashed the Goro, and then he was there when it came back.
So would we call that a jump cut? Maybe a jump cut?
Oh, he's a shadow priest. He can do what he wants.
He can do whatever he wants.
He just shadow stepped, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Well, that's all I have for this minute.
I do have one final thing.
I love it.
It's about the shadow priest because I just can't let the shadow priest go. So if you look closely, you can see that he actually has his eyes are closed and he actually has a mouth. I mentioned previously that I think it was back in minute 23 when our combatants were coming onto the island down the beach. And there was one shadow priest that was like taking roll or whatever at the podium.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's him?
No. I don't think it's him. Because I just wanted to call back to that for a second because I mentioned that in the book and in the screenplay, Sonya does try and talk to the shadow priest, but I didn't mention that the shadow priest couldn't talk back because his mouth was sewn shut. And in this scene, though, you can clearly see that his mouth is not sewn shut.
Gotcha.
But that's it. A little anticlimactic, but this is what we do. It's 1 minute of the movie, but we dissect it. So that's where we are. One agonizing minute at a time. But that's my final note for this minute. Yep. I don't know about
That's what I was going to ask you was, do you write it down what you're going to make the new adjective?
Oh, every time.
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah, every time.
I like one delicious minute. Yeah.
Delicious.
Oh yeah.
Smooth.
that will be one for sure if it hasn't already been. Disgusting.
One disgusting minute at a time. Yeah.
Well, if y'all are done, I think we've beaten this minute dead.
You just need to edit in Goro's voice saying disgusting. One disgusting minute, every time.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. You know what? I do have a few more notes, but I'm saving those for next minute.
Good. I think we spent this one. So.
Yeah, and Josiah, are you sticking around for the next one?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, then we'll see you then. And thanks so much for joining us. And once again, I'm Phil.
I'm Spanish.
And he's just There he's Josiah. And we'll see you next.
No one.
And we'll see you next time on the Mortal Kombat Minute.